Hi, this is Akintola Samuel here again, and you're welcome to another episode of Breakthrough Moments. Today I want to talk to you about destroying destructive habits. What are destructive habits? Destructive habits are good things that, when excessively done, has the potential and the capacity for destroying you. Why do people get involved in destructive habits? Why do people engage in destructive habits? I strongly believe this happens when people are discouraged, when they are disappointed, when things don't go their way. In the last episode I spoke about, depression and what you must not do when you're depressed. And one of the things you must not do when you're depressed is that you must not get involved in destructive habits. For instance, someone is going through the process of depression and they start overeating, they start drinking, they start watching excessive TV. And what I've come to discover about indulging in these things is that it never changes the situation. It only numbs the pain over time, but by the moment you stop those things, the pain comes back. So it is really not a lasting solution. So what do you do so that you don't get destroyed by destructive habits? Please understand this, that most destructive habits are not necessarily bad things. Of course, there are habits people engage in, like drug dealing, using drugs, illicit sex and all those things. Of course, those are bad acts in a sense, overtly or subtly getting involved in all those things will definitely destroy your life at the end of the day. But I'm talking about good things that we all get involved in, like watching TV is not a bad thing, eating is not a bad thing, sleeping is not a bad thing. But when you start doing this thing with the motive of trying to numb your pain, with the motive of trying to shut out the pain, with the motive of forgetting what you're going through, then it becomes a destructive habit. When you start doing it in an excessive dimension, for instance, when someone watches TV probably an hour or two a day, that's still okay. But by the time you start watching 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours in a day out of 24 hours, then it becomes a destructive habit. It's okay to sleep 7 hours, 6 hours in a day, and according to recent research, they say that ideally you should sleep between 6 hours to 8 hours per day for you to live healthy, depending on your body wiring and your body structure and all those things. But when you now start sleeping for 11 hours during the day, not that you walked overnight, you start sleeping excessively, then it becomes a destructive habit. Eating is okay. It's okay, it's right for us to eat. When you don't eat over time, your body can survive, for a couple of days without water, but without taking water and food for a couple of days, you're definitely going to self-destruct. So it's not about not doing those things, it's about not doing them excessively. So how do you stop destructive habits? How do you destroy them? Because destructive habits, they have the potential of destroying your business, destroying your relationships, because when people get involved in destructive habits, they end up becoming addicted to those habits, and no one really likes to be around addicts, because the focus of the addict the focus of the addict is upon those habits, right? They no longer put their attention on their relationships, the things that are important to them. So when you are around an addict, what you'd notice that their focus is not on you. Their focus is not on the things that produce results. Their focus is on the things that they are addicted to. So how do you destroy these habits? If you find yourself in one of these habits, probably you've been watching excessive TV, eating excessively, sleeping excessively. How do you stop these things? These are practical steps, but they are very powerful. Number one, if you're going to destroy destructive habits, ensure you don't hang around the people that feed your weakness. Ensure you don't hang around the people that feed, this particular habit in you. I'm reminded of the guy by the name of Amnon. Amnon was supposed to be the heir of King David in the place of Solomon, but Amnon had a particular desire towards his half sister. He desired her, he wanted to sleep with her, and Amnon had a friend who were told, and his friend gave him the strategy on how to rape the sister. Amnon had the weakness, he had the habit, he was desirous of the wrong things, but unfortunately he positioned himself around someone that kept feeding this desire in him, and at the end of the day he slept with the sister. Of course he succeeded, he achieved his goal, but he also lost his life at the end of the day. So the question is, who are you surrounding yourself with? Also ensure you don't position yourself in an environment that feeds your weakness. For instance, someone is trying to overcome, taking alcohol and all those things, or maybe smoking, and you are always in an environment of people, who are taking excessive alcohol, people who are consistently smoking. It's only a matter of time before you find yourself lapsing back into those same habits. So you want to destroy your destructive habits, ensure that you don't position yourself in an environment that feed the weakness and around people that feed the weakness. Also, number 3, ensure that you get a clear vision of a preferable future state. The reason why people lose sight or lose passion for positive things, the reason why they get involved in negative destructive habits is because there is no compelling future in the first place. There is nothing they are looking forward to. And you say, when there is no clear picture of the future, then you get involved in all sorts of vices. And the last thing you need to do is, when you get a clear vision that is more compelling, than the destructive habits, you must keep that vision before you. Any vision that is forgotten, any goal that is forgotten will never be achieved. So you keep it constantly before your face. When you want to get involved, for instance, maybe you find yourself watching excessive TV, you put this picture before your face, you are reminded of where you're going, and before you know it, those destructive habits begin to lose their grip over you. I strongly believe this has been helpful to you. Share with someone, talk to someone about it, and till I see you in the next episode, thank you very much for watching. God bless you.